certain people should not have access to certain knowledge, because if they get access to certain knowledge, they have access to certain power, and then it throws the equilibrium off. It throws the equity of the earth in itself off its axis.
Literally, you'd be like, oh, I took LSD and I've talked to a spirit that's a demon and told me information about myself, about how long I'm gonna live, that they're gonna come get him at some point.
Holy shit. Shouts out to Teflon Sean. You need to make a SoundCloud, Teflon. Wow. But yeah, also study the Golden Beetle. With that being said, goodbye.
Before X became one of the biggest names to emerge from SoundCloud era, there was a much smaller world surrounding him. According to people who were around the scene, individuals deeply interested in occultism, esoteric philosophy, and symbolism. One of those figures was Teflon Sean, also known online as TeflonSean187. So who exactly was Sean, and how much influence did he actually have on young X? Because when you go back and look at some of the strange imagery, philosophical ideas, and references surrounding XXXTentacion's rise in the late 2016 and 17, there appears to be a much deeper story underneath the music. To understand Sean's alleged influence, we first have to go back to the period before X became a mainstream name. This was the underground SoundCloud era. X was surrounded by a loose network of artists, friends, managers, filmmakers, and internet personalities who were helping create and document this new scene. Amongst the people associated with the environment was Teflon Sean. Sean wasn't simply presented as another fan or random person hanging around the scene. He was involved creatively, including filming and documenting materials connected to artists around X. One example frequently cited is early footage involving Ski Mask the Slum God, including the video of Psycho. And it matters because during this period, visual media was incredibly important. The music wasn't just being uploaded, the entire aesthetic was being built through videos, images, social media posts, and cryptic internet mythology. And Sean was reportedly a part of that process.
Because if you don't, it doesn't go anywhere. Everything besides what you got planned does not matter. You gotta stay in your mind.
Keep going, man. Hey, man, I appreciate so much, dog. Nice meeting you.
Study your laws of the universe. Laws of the universe. Or get the master key.
I appreciate it, dog. All right, have a good one.
What makes Teflon Sean particularly interesting isn't simply his involvement with underground videos. It's his interest in occult and esoteric subjects. Sean has described himself as an occultist and has been associated with discussions surrounding symbolism, mysticism, secret societies, and esoteric philosophy. According to the accounts surrounding this period, Sean introduced X to some of these ideas. And this is where things get interesting, because X public persona around 2016 and 17 began incorporating increasingly strange philosophical and symbolic concepts. Some of those ideas were discussed throughout audio clips, social media posts, conversations, and the mythology developing around his music. One recurring concept was the Golden Beetle. To some unfamiliar with the context, that might sound completely random, but within the broader esoteric material being discussed around X, the Golden Beetle became a part of much larger symbolic and philosophical rabbit hole. If you guys want to find out more about the Golden Beetle, make sure to check out my last video. It's where I go into a deep dive on all theories surrounding the subject.
You feel voided, and then you just subject to yourself, and then you realize you spent so much time trying to conquer this that you never took care of this. Thing is equalized. So it's maintaining the equilibrium of everything. It's like, and understanding that, bro. That's why I don't carry myself arrogantly. That's why I don't move either. Right.
Hold on, silence, please. Listen, I want to say something to you guys.
Shut that shit up.
Alright, so listen. No matter what anybody tells you, each and every individual in here is a star. All of you are here.
I guess after he started living with these kids, they started doing like brujeria. Like, they started doing that shit. And like, these are facts, like Wi-Fi, funeral, and all these guys would say that. Even Juice WRLD would say that shit. He was like, yeah, like, Bruno was doing like they were doing some weird shit. Even X. Yeah, they were when
Florida has that, Louisiana has that.
Sacrifices a girl's soul when he fucks them on top of his bed, because he has like the gates of hell pentagon drawn underneath his bed, and he sacrifices a girl's soul on top of the bed when he fucks them.
The Golden Beetle is one of those pieces of X's lore that has fascinated fans for years. It's difficult to separate what X personally believed from what he was experimenting with creatively, and that's an important distinction, because artists often absorb ideas from other people around them, remixing those ideas and eventually turn them into something completely on their own. That's potentially what happened here. If the accounts about Sean's influence are accurate, X was being exposed to an entirely different vocabulary. Symbols, ancient philosophies, occult tradition, Masonic imagery, ideas about consciousness and hidden knowledge, and these concepts could then be incorporated into his own artistic identity. But there is an important caveat. There isn't enough reliable evidence to say that Sean single-handedly created X's philosophical worldview. X was intensely curious himself. He explored spirituality, religion, philosophy, psychology, and metaphysics from multiple sources. So rather than thinking of Sean as the person who created X's beliefs, it's more accurate to think of him as a potential being, one influence within a much larger intellectual and creative environment. This became particularly interesting when you look at XXXTentacion's career chronologically. His music was changing rapidly, his image was changing, and so was the way he talked about himself and the world. The violent chaotic energy associated with his earlier work existed alongside increasingly philosophical material.
Blah, nigga! Nigga! Blah, nigga! Move that nigga on his shit! Move that nigga on his shit! Move that nigga on his shit! Beat that nigga ass!
I'm not gonna go into my history because I fucking hate thinking about my history. I hate thinking about the things that I don't want to remember. To jump to purpose. No one can explain why you are alive. No one can save you but you. You have to put the mind into what you want to put the mind into. If you believe in something, you can achieve it. You have to create your own purpose. And in evolution, you have to evolve towards that purpose. It's easier to live when you have goals to meet. You understand?
By 2017, X was talking publicly about subjects far more removed from the straightforward aggression of his early music. He was interested in consciousness, death, the meaning of existence and life, spirituality, the human mind, and the possibility that reality wasn't simply as it appeared. Some of those interests may have come from his own experiences and reading. Some may have come from conversations with people around him, and some may simply have been artistic experiments. The important point is that the people around an artist can influence the vocabulary throughout which that artist expresses ideas. And Sean appears to have been part of that environment during a crucial period of X's development. Perhaps the most interesting way to look at Teflon Sean isn't as some mysterious mastermind behind X. It's a glimpse into the environment that helped shape one of the most unconventional artists of SoundCloud era. Before the fame, before the millions of streams, before the controversy, there was a young X surrounded by people experimenting with music, visuals, philosophy, spirituality, and internet culture. And people like Sean were a part of that ecosystem.
Hi, my name is XXX.
My name is Ski Mask, the Slump.
God, I have a skinny dick.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're watching Elevator.
This your man's. This your man's.